Hello guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel MovieFlix Hub. In today's video, we're going to build a beautiful OTT platform app completely from scratch using React Native and Expo. This project is going to be super exciting because we'll be covering some really powerful concepts like swiper, scroll view, and linear gradient, all of which are essential for creating smooth, dynamic, and professional-looking mobile app interfaces. We'll begin this project on Snack.dev, which will allow us to quickly preview our app on iOS. And once that's up and running perfectly, we'll move everything into VS Code and run the same project for Android, so by the end, you'll have a complete setup for both platforms. By watching this video till the end, you'll understand exactly how to design and code a streaming-style app, just like Netflix or Disney Plus, using React Native and Expo. We'll take things step by step, first setting up the project structure, then designing our UI components, and finally adding functionality and smooth animations. Throughout the process, I'll explain how each React Native component works, so even if you're a beginner, you'll be able to follow along easily and confidently. As we start coding, I'll walk you through every detail. How to structure and organize your components properly. How to use Swiper effectively to create an auto-sliding banner. And how to combine scroll view with linear gradient layouts to build a seamless, cinematic experience. We'll also add a touch of styling magic to make the app look premium, clean, and visually engaging. Once our UI is complete, we'll run it first on iOS to test all the animations and layouts. Then we'll switch over to VS Code, connect our Android emulator, and make sure everything works smoothly across both platforms. By doing this, you'll learn how to make your app fully responsive and consistent, just like professional OTT applications used in the real world. And that's it. Party Popper, you've just built your very own OTT platform app using Swiper, scroll view, and linear gradient in React Native. From here, you can customize it even more, add new categories, tweak the designs, or even connect it with a backend to make it fully functional. So let's get started and bring this cinematic streaming experience to life, right inside your mobile app. First, open your project's app.js. I always start by importing the core navigation tools and the gesture handler. Import this at the top. Import React Native Gesture Handler. React Native Gesture Handler should be the very first import that prevents touch/gesture issues. Import React from React. Import Navigation Container from @React Navigation/native. Navigation Container is the root provider for your navigation tree. Import Create Native Stack Navigator from @React Navigation/native stack. Create Native Stack Navigator gives us a simple stack-based navigator, push/pop screens. Now, const stack equals Create Native Stack Navigator, export default function app. Return Navigation Container Stack Navigator Screen Options equals header shown, false. Stack screen name equals home component equals / on next line stack screen name equals detail component equals / on next line stack screen name equals player component equals / stack navigator / navigation container. Now in your SRC folder, create a screens folder. Inside SRC/screens, make 3 files: homescreen.js, detailscreen.js, playerscreen.js. Write a code for homescreen.js. Import React from React. Import view, text, safe area view, stylesheet from React Native. Export default function homescreen. Return safe area view style equals styles.container view text homescreen/text/view. /safe area view, const styles equals stylesheet.create, container, flex, 1, background color, hashtag FFF, copy the same code from homescreen.js into detailscreen.js and playerscreen.js. Then change the function names and the display text so each file exports a uniquely named component. This quick copy-paste approach is a fast way to scaffold your screens. Later we'll replace the placeholder UI with real components. Now go back to app.js and import the 3 screens you just created. Import React Native Gesture Handler. Import React from React. Import Navigation Container from @React Navigation/native. Import Create Native Stack Navigator from @React Navigation/native stack. Import Homescreen from ./src/screen/homescreen. Import Detail Screen from ./src/screen/detail screen. Import Player Screen from ./src/screen/player screen. Const stack equals Create Native Stack Navigator. Export Default Function App. Return Navigation Container. Stack Navigator Screen Options equals header shown, false. Stack Screen Name equals Home Component equals Home Screen /. Stack Screen Name equals Detail Component equals Detail Screen /. Stack Screen Name equals Player Component equals Player Screen /. /stack Navigator. /navigation container. Screen options equals header shown, false, hides the default top bar so we can design our own headers later. Name is the route ID, use these names when calling navigation.navigate, detail, movie. Okay everyone, now we're going to create the main user interface building blocks for our OTT app. In this part of the project, we'll organize our components and data folders properly, and then build 2 important files, one called bottom bar, which will work as the bottom navigation bar for quick access to different sections, and another called movie card, which will display each movie's poster, title, and rating in our horizontal scroll lists. After that, we'll create a data folder that will hold all our movie information in a file named movies.js. Inside this file, we'll define our data using a simple JavaScript array of objects. Each object represents one movie and contains all the details that our app will display. Each movie object will have an ID, which uniquely identifies the movie, for example, Dune-1. This ID is very important because React uses it as a unique key when rendering lists. If 2 movies share the same ID, React will show a warning about duplicate keys, and that can lead to unexpected issues. Next, we'll add the title field, which holds the movie's name, for example, Dune Part 3. Then comes the year field, which represents the movie's release year, such as 2027. After that, we'll include a rating field, maybe something like 9.5, which we can later use in the user interface to display star ratings beside each movie. We'll also include genres, which is an array containing the movie's categories. For example, epic, fantasy, and drama. Having genres stored as an array makes it flexible, because you can easily join them together and show them as a clean, comma-separated list on the screen. The description field will include a short summary or storyline of the movie, which will appear on the details screen later. Then we have 2 very important properties, the poster and the backdrop. These will store image references using the require function to load images directly from the Assets and Images folder. For example, poster require assets images Dune.jpg. This helps React Native load and display local images even without an internet connection. For testing, you can reuse the same image for multiple entries, but for a more realistic look, it's better to use different posters. characters. We'll also have a video property that stores a sample video link, something like a demo MP4 video from Expo's example library. Later, we'll use this video link inside the player screen when the user taps the Watch Now button. Finally, we'll include a cast array inside each movie object. This list will have cast members with an ID, a name, and an avatar image. For example, ID C1, name actor 1, and avatar require assets images cast1.jpg. This setup makes our data well structured and flexible, so every movie can be displayed beautifully in our app, complete with its poster, description, cast, and video details. I'll paste a single movie object and show you how to copy it 10 times, make sure each ID is unique, otherwise React will warn about duplicate keys. Alright everyone, in this part of the project, we're going to build one of the most important UI components of our OTT app, the movie card component. This is the card that displays each movie's poster, title, release year, and rating inside the horizontal scroll sections on the home screen. It's a reusable component that we'll use again and again across different categories like popular, recommended, and anime time. Let's go step by step and understand how this component works and what each line of code does. Import React from React, import view, text, stylesheet, image background, touchable opacity, animated from React Native, import linear gradient from Expo linear gradient, import ion icons from @expo/vector icons. Now, let's break this down. We import React because we're writing a functional React component. Then, we bring in several components from React Native view, text, stylesheet, image background, touchable opacity, and animated. View and text are basic building blocks, they help us structure and display our layout. Stylesheet is used to define our CSS-like styles in React Native. Image background allows us to place content, like text, on top of an image. Touchable opacity is a wrapper that makes the component clickable with a nice fade-in touch effect. And animated gives us access to the React Native Animation API so we can create smooth and interactive effects like scaling, fading, or movement. Next, we import linear gradient from Expo linear gradient, which lets us apply a beautiful gradient overlay on our movie posters. This helps the text stand out clearly even if the background image is bright. And finally, we import ion icons from Expo vector icons. This gives us access to hundreds of high-quality icons, and here we'll use a small star icon to show movie ratings. Export default function movie card item, on press. This is a reusable functional component called movie card. It accepts two props item, which is a movie object containing all the movie details like title, year, rating, and poster image, and on press, which is a callback function. This callback allows us to handle what happens when someone taps on the movie card, for example, navigating to the detail screen. Inside the component, the first thing we create is an animated value const scale equals react.useref new animated value 1.current. Here's what's happening. We're using the useref hook to create a persistent animated value that starts at 1. This will control the scale, or size, of the card. When we press down, it will slightly shrink to create a press feedback effect, and when we release, it will bounce back to its original size. It's a small detail, but it makes the UI feel responsive and tactile, like a real physical button being pressed. Then we define two helper functions, const handle press in equals animated.spring, scale, to value, 0.97, use native driver, true.start. The handle press-in function triggers when the user presses down on the card. It uses the animated.spring method to scale the card down to 97% of its original size, giving a smooth spring-like feel. The use native driver, true option tells React Native to offload the animation to the native layer for better performance. The handle press out function does the opposite. When the user lifts their finger, the card smoothly returns to full size. Next comes our return statement, which defines the actual UI of the movie card. We wrap everything inside a touchable opacity, so the user can tap anywhere on the card. Inside it, we use an animated view instead of a normal view so that our scaling animation works properly. Touchable opacity, active opacity equals 0.9, on press equals on press item, on press in equals handle press in, on press out equals handle press out, style equals margin right 16. Why we use touchable opacity and these props? We use touchable opacity to make the card clickable and give smooth touch feedback. The active opacity slightly fades the card when pressed, and the on press in and on press out handle the scale animation. The small margins simply add spacing between cards. Animated view, style equals styles.card with transform scale. Why wrap an animated view and use transform scale animated? View allows us to smoothly scale the entire card when pressed. It uses our animated value for a soft spring effect, making the UI feel responsive and natural. Styles create card, width 240, height 340, border radius 12, overflow hidden. This defines the card's shape, a tall movie poster style layout with rounded corners. Overflow hidden keeps the image and gradient neatly inside the curved edges. Image background source equals item.poster, image style border radius 12, inside linear gradient colors transparent to black. Why use image background and linear gradient with these props? Image background displays the movie poster and lets us layer text on top. The linear gradient adds a dark fade at the bottom so the text stays visible on bright images. The linear gradient placed inside the image background is a very practical UI technique. It fades from transparent at the top to a darker tone at the bottom. This ensures that any white or light text placed at the bottom remains legible even if the poster is visually busy. The gradient colors here use transparent to let the image show through, then RABA 0000.7 to darken the lower area. The gradient style is set to cover the same area as the image so it feels like a natural overlay. This combination image plus gradient gives a cinematic feel and resolves a common accessibility problem, which is low contrast between text and image. Image style equals open curly brace flex :1 comma justify content :flex dash and close curly brace. Gradient style equals spread style sheet.absolute fill object. Why image style and absolute gradient fill the image style with flex? One makes the poster image fill the entire card container. Justify content, flex end pushes the inner content to the bottom of the card. That's where we want the movie title and meta to sit, like a caption on a poster. This placement is visually familiar and focuses attention on the poster itself while keeping the metadata easily reachable. For the gradient we use stylesheet.absolute fill object, which is a shorthand that expands the gradient to cover the entire parent area with absolute positioning. Import view, text, safe area view, style sheet, text input, image, and scroll view from React Native. Import ion icons from @expo/vector icons. Export default function home screen with a single prop called navigation. We import these building blocks because they are the foundation of our screen layout. Safe area view ensures the content sits inside the visible, safe area of the phone. This is very important on modern phones with notches and rounded corners so content doesn't get cut off. View and text are our basic layout and typography elements. Everything on the screen is built from them, so you'll use them constantly. Text input creates the search input so users can type queries. We'll style it to look native and unobtrusive. Image displays the profile avatar in the header, giving a personal touch to the app. Scroll view is included because the home screen has many vertical sections. Wrapping everything in a scroll view lets the user scroll through categories smoothly. Finally, Ion Icons provides the search icon and other small icons. Using an icon library makes the UI consistent and professional. The navigation prop is passed automatically by React Navigation and lets us move to detail or player screens when a user taps a card. Keep this prop in mind because it's the bridge between UI components and app flow. Open Safe Area View with styles.container. Inside it, open a scroll view. Then a view with styles.header row. Inside the header row we have text with styles.hi that says "Hi, Melanie," and an image with source require assets image. View with styles.header row open angle bracket. This line opens a container view for the header. Think of it as a horizontal row that holds the greeting text and the profile image. We wrap the header content in a view so we can apply layout rules, spacing, alignment, and padding to both elements together. Using a dedicated header row helps keep the UI modular and makes future changes easier. For example, when you want to add a small notification icon or a mini profile menu next to the avatar. Text with styles.hi close angle bracket hi, Melanie exclamation close text. Here we render the greeting text. I chose a friendly "Hi, Melanie." To demonstrate personalization. In a real app you'd replace this static name with the logged-in user's name. The text element is styled separately so you can control font size, weight, and color independently from the header container. This greeting gives your home screen personality and immediately tells the user this app is tailored for them. Image source equals require open parentheses quote // assets / images / profile placeholder.png quote close parenthesis style equals styles.avatar close image. This is the profile avatar image. Require loads a local image from your assets folder, which is great for prototypes or default placeholders. The styles.avatar defines the size and circular shape. Putting the avatar on the right of the header creates a balanced layout, greeting on the left, profile on the right, which is a common and familiar pattern in many apps. Later you can wrap this image with a touchable opacity to open a profile screen or settings. This closes the header container. Everything inside it is now grouped and will follow the layout rules we apply to header row. Import Ion Icons from @expo/vector-icons. This import brings in the Ion Icons icon set provided by Expo. I use this for small interface icons such as the search icon. Using a consistent icon library keeps visual language uniform across the app and reduces design friction. You don't have to draw or import individual SVGs, you can just place an icon by name. View with styles.searchbox open angle bracket. This creates a visual container for the search control. The search box is a separate view so we can style it as a distinct UI element with a slightly lighter background, rounded corners, and padding, which makes it obvious to users that this is an interactive field. Ion Icons name equals quote search quote size equals 18 color equals quote pound BFB3C2 quote close /. This adds a small search icon inside the search box. The icon visually signals the function of the input and improves usability. Users instantly recognize where to type. The color I chose is a muted off-white so it's visible without being too bright, matching the app's dark theme. Text input placeholder equals quote search quote placeholder text color equals quote pound 999 quote style equals curly brace color colon quote white quote comma padding horizontal colon 8 comma margin left colon 20 comma margin top colon -20 comma curly brace close /. This is the actual input where users type queries. The placeholder shows the word search until the user enters text. Placeholder text color gives the placeholder a subtle gray to differentiate it from typed text. The inline style positions the input text correctly relative to the icon. Margin left, 20 nudges the text right so it doesn't overlap the icon, and margin top, -20 fine-tunes vertical alignment inside the box. Those small adjustments are normal when combining icons and inputs inside the same container.
Container open curly brace flex 1 background color quote pound 0e0b14 quote margin bottom 10 close curly brace. The container style is the base wrapper for the entire screen. Flex 1 makes it expand to fill the whole device screen. The background color uses a dark tone that's common for cinematic or OTT apps. This dark background makes posters and colorful imagery pop. Margin bottom 10 provides a small gap at the bottom so content doesn't feel cramped or touch the device edges. It's especially useful when you have a floating bottom bar overlay. Header row open curly brace flex direction row justify content space dash between align items center padding 16 close curly brace. Header row sets up the header layout as a horizontal row. Flex direction row places child elements, the greeting and avatar, side by side. Justify content space between pushes the two elements to the far left and right, creating a clean balanced header. Align items center keeps them vertically centered, and padding 16 gives consistent spacing from the screen edges so the header breathes and doesn't look glued to the top. High open curly brace color quote white quote font size 24 font weight 700 close curly brace. The high style controls the greeting text appearance. A large font size and bold weight make the greeting prominent and friendly. White color provides high contrast with the dark background and improves readability, an important UX consideration for accessibility and visual clarity. Open view with style equals styles. Bottom. Inside it, text with style equals styles. Title and number of lines equals 1. Curly brace open item. Title curly brace close text. Then open view with inline style flex direction row align items center margin top 4. Inside that, icon's name equals quote star quote size equals 12 color equals quote pound ffd700 quote. Then text with style equals styles. Sub curly brace open item. Year space bullet space item. Rating curly brace close text. Close the inner view. Close the outer view. This block is the information footer that sits over the bottom of the poster image. The outer view with styles. Bottom groups the title and meta together and provides consistent inner spacing so the text doesn't hug the image edges. The text element with number of lines equals 1 displays the movie title and ensures long titles are truncated with an ellipsis rather than wrapping and breaking the card layout that keeps rows tidy and predictable. Below the title we create a horizontal row that contains a small gold star icon and the movie metadata, year and rating. The star icon is a familiar visual cue that immediately communicates rating to the user, and arranging the icon and text in a row keeps the information compact and scannable. Overall, this structure gives users exactly the quick glance info they need: title, year, and rating, while keeping the typography readable on top of image backgrounds. Bottom open curly brace padding 12 close curly brace. Title open curly brace color quote white quote font size 18 font weight 700 close curly brace. Sub open curly brace color quote pound ccc quote font size 12 margin left 6 close curly brace. The bottom style simply adds padding 12 so the title and metadata sit comfortably above the card edge and away from the image. That padding improves readability and touch comfort. The title style sets the title to white, bold, and a slightly larger font size so it stands out as the primary piece of information. White gives maximum contrast on the dark gradient overlay we applied earlier. The substyle, which is used for the year and rating, is intentionally smaller in a soft gray color so it reads as secondary information. The margin left 6 creates a small gap after the star icon so the text doesn't feel cramped against the icon. Together these style choices create a clear visual hierarchy: title first, then metadata, which is exactly how users scan movie cards in real streaming apps. Small spacing, color, and size differences like these are what make the UI feel polished and professional. Import view, text, safe area view, style sheet, text input, image, dimensions, touchable opacity, image background, and scroll view from React Native. Import swiper from React-Native-Swiper. Import linear gradient from Expo linear gradient.
Import ion icons from @expo/vector-icons. Import movies from /data/movies. Then set constant width equals dimensions.get window. And finally set constant featured equals movies. These import lines and initial assignments set up everything we need for the For You banner. We import the standard UI primitives view, text, image, and so on because the banner mixes images, text, and touchable areas. Scroll view is used at the screen level so the whole home page can scroll vertically. Dimensions.get window gives us the device width. We store that in width so our banners can be full bleed minus consistent margins, which keeps layouts predictable across devices. Swiper is a small carousel library that handles the auto-sliding banner for us. It simplifies swipe gestures and pagination dots. Linear gradient lets us add a fade overlay on top of poster images so the title stays readable. Ion icons supplies the star icon for ratings. Finally, we import our mock movies data and assign it to featured, which is the array we'll render inside the swiper. By centralizing the data in featured, the code reads cleanly and it's easy to swap the source later for an API response. Text style equals styles.section title close text with the content for you. Then open view style equals curly brace height :420 curly brace. The text here is the visible section heading, for you, which orients the user and creates hierarchy on the home screen. Under that we create a view with a fixed height of 420 pixels to reserve vertical space for the banner carousel. Fixing the height gives the swiper a predictable area to render in, which prevents layout jumps while images load or while the swiper transitions. This fixed container also helps when you overlay gradients and text, you know exactly how much vertical room you have to play with. If you want the banner to be more dynamic, you can compute height from dimensions for responsive aspect ratios, but for a consistent poster look, a fixed height works well. Open swiper with autoplay timeout equals 3.5, shows pagination, .color equals RABA 255,255,255,0.4, and active.color equals #FFF. This is the swiper carousel that turns the banners automatically. Autoplay makes the slides advance on their own, and autoplay timeout sets the delay between slides, here 3.5 seconds, which is a comfortable rhythm for banners. Shows pagination displays the small dots so the user knows there are multiple slides. .color and active.color control the inactive and active.colors. The inactive dot uses a semi-transparent white so it's visible but subtle, while the active dot is pure white to indicate the current slide clearly. These small UI choices improve discoverability and feel polished. Open curly brace featured.map open paren item arrow open curly brace return touchable opacity key equals item.id active opacity equals 0.9 on press equals open paren close paren arrow open curly brace open detail parenthesis item close curly brace close paren. Then inside it open image background source equals item.poster style equals styles.banner image style border radius equals 16. Inside the image background we place linear gradient with colors set to open bracket transparent and RABA 0,0,0,0.7 close bracket style equals style sheet.absolute fill object. Then a view with style equals styles.banner text box containing a text with style equals styles.banner title that shows item.title, and a text with style equals styles.banner meta that shows item.year.space.item.rating followed by ion icons name equals star size equals 14 color equals #FFD700. Avatar open curly brace width 40 height 40 border radius 20 close curly brace. Search box open curly brace margin horizontal 16 background color #221A28 border radius 12 padding 10 close curly brace. Section title open curly brace color white margin top 18 margin left 16 font weight 700 margin bottom 10 close curly brace.
Banner open curly brace width minus 32 height 400 margin horizontal 16 justify content flex dash and close curly brace. Banner text box open curly brace padding 16 close curly brace. Banner title open curly brace color white font size 24 font weight 800 close curly brace. Banner meta open curly brace color hash ccc margin top 4 close curly. Banner width and height and margins. The banner width uses width 32, so we keep 16 points of horizontal padding on both sides. This centers the banner and gives consistent gutters across the screen. A height of 400 makes the banner visually dominant. It's the hero area that hooks users. Justify content. Flex end pulls the text block to the bottom where the gradient is darkest, which is both visually pleasing and ensures the overlay text doesn't obstruct the most interesting parts of the poster. Banner text box, padding of 16 gives the title and meta breathing room. That padding maintains a consistent design rhythm with the rest of the screen, header paddings, section insets, and it prevents copy from sitting flush against rounded corners or the image edge. Banner title, typography, a font size of 24 and heavy weight, 800, makes the movie title the hero element on the slide. White color maximizes contrast against the darkened gradient, improving readability. This typographic scale helps users instantly identify the featured movie without squinting. Banner meta, subtle secondary text. The meta line uses a muted gray, #CCC, and a small top margin to separate. Constant curly brace width curly brace equals dimensions. Get open parentheses string window close parentheses. This line grabs the device's screen width at runtime and stores it in a constant called width. We use dimensions.get window because mobile devices come in many sizes and pixel densities, so hard-coded widths cause inconsistent layouts. By measuring the window width, we can compute responsive sizes. For example, width 32 creates a full-width banner that keeps 16-point margins on each side. That's why the hero banner in the screenshot looks centered with rounded gutters. Using width makes your UI predictable across phones. The banner will always be flush with the same left and right padding, so it looks balanced on small and large screens. It's a simple line, but it's cornerstone for responsive design in React Native. Text style equals styles. Section title close text with content for you. Then open view style equals curly brace height 420 curly brace. Then open swiper with props autoplay timeout equals 3.5, shows pagination equals true, .color equals raba 255.255.255.0.4, active.color equals #FFF. This block renders the For You label and reserves a fixed visual area for the hero carousel. The view with height 420 gives space for the swiper to render images without causing layout jumps while images load. Swiper is a carousel component that handles swipe gestures, pagination dots, and automatic sliding for us. I set autoplay to true and autoplay timeout to 3.5 seconds so slides change at a comfortable pace, long enough to read the title, but short enough to keep motion interesting. Shows pagination displays the small dots, you can see them in the screenshot, and .color and active.color style the inactive and active dots for clarity. Now open the data file, export default open bracket and then a list of movie objects. For example, the first object, ID Dune, title Dune, part 3, year 2027, rating 9.5, genres open square bracket epic fantasy drama close square bracket, description Paul Atreides, a brilliant and gifted young man. Poster require open parentheses quote assets images dune.jpg quote close. Parentheses, backdrop require same file, video a sample mp4 URL, cast open bracket cast objects like ID1 name actor 1 avatar require cast1.jpg close bracket. Repeat for 10 dataset entries with unique IDs and appropriate posters and values. This movies.js file is your mock database. Each object includes everything the UI needs. ID is the unique key, title, and year populate text, rating powers the star and number, genres is an array you can join to display a comma-separated genre list, description populates the detail page, poster and backdrop are image references, and video is the playback URL for the player screen. The cast array includes cast members each with an ID, name, and avatar image.
I duplicated a template across 10 entries so the UI feels full when you scroll and swipe.
Important implementation notes.
Unique IDs, make sure each ID is unique, that prevents React warnings and keeps list updates stable. Local require, images, during prototyping we use local require, //assets/images/any.jpg.
This bundles images with the app and works offline.
For production, replace them with remote URIs like movie.poster URL if you're pulling from an API.
Video link. The video property is a demo MP4 now, later you'll replace it with real streaming URLs or signed CDN links.
Genres array, keeping genres as an array is flexible, you can show them as chip. Now we'll build and explain the detail screen, the page that opens when you tap any poster. This screen shows the hero backdrop, title, genres, description, cast, and the Watch Now button that opens the player.
Import React from React.
Import view, text, image, style sheet, touchable opacity, and scroll view from React Native. Then inside the component we render scroll view with styles.container, and inside it we render image with source equals movie.backdrop and style equals styles.backdrop. First, the imports bring in everything we need to build a scrollable detail page. Scroll view allows the whole screen to be vertically scrollable, which is important because a movie detail page has several stack sections: a large hero image, title and meta, description, cast lists, and action buttons. Using scroll view means the content can expand naturally without overlapping.
Right away we render the image using movie.backdrop.
This is the white artwork you see at the top of the detail screen.
It creates an immediate cinematic feel and acts as the visual anchor for the page.
I used a backdrop property in the movie data so we can show a large, high-resolution image that's different from the small poster thumbnails. The style we assign to this image will make it cover the full width and a fixed height so the hero area is visually consistent. A couple of practical notes: use local require, images for prototyping and remote URIs in production. If you use remote images, consider showing a placeholder or loading indicator while the image downloads, and think about caching to avoid repeated network requests. Export default function detail screen with parameters route and navigation. Inside we read const movie equals route.params. This is the typical React navigation pattern.
The detail screen receives a route object and a navigation object automatically from the navigator.
Route.params contains whatever we passed when navigating. In our case, we passed movie item from the home screen. By destructuring const movie equals route.params, we extract the movie object so the component can render all its fields. Always validate that route.params and movie exist, especially if you plan to deep link directly to this screen.
A defensive check like const movie equals route params movie. A fallback movie avoids runtime crashes when params are missing. Right after the backdrop we render a touchable opacity with styles.backbtn and onPress equals navigation.goback. Inside that we show a text that says back with white color. The back button is absolutely positioned over the hero image so users can easily return to the previous screen. I used touchable opacity to make it tappable and gave it a semi-transparent black background so it remains visible on any backdrop. The navigation.goback method is straightforward and works for stack navigators. It pops the current screen from the stack. Accessibility tip: add accessibility role equals button and accessibility label equals go back so screen readers announce it correctly. Also, using an icon instead of plain text often looks more polished. For production, replace the text with a left arrow icon and keep the label for accessibility. Then a view with styles.content contains a text with styles.title that shows movie.title. Styles.content provides padding for everything below the hero. The title uses large typography, font size 28 and heavy weight, so the movie name reads like a headline. Placing title below the backdrop is a familiar pattern. The poster and backdrop hook the user visually, then the title and metadata provide the context. Under the title we have a text with styles.meta that renders movie.genres.join, bullet movie.year. We show genres joined with a bullet separator, then the year, like Epic Fantasy Drama 2027. Using movie.genres.join, bullet formats the array into a readable, compact string. This provides quick context about the movie's tone and release date at a glance. Next, we render a text with styles.desk that shows movie.description. The description provides the movie synopsis and is usually multi-line. The styles.desk uses a softer color and increased line height for readability. Line height 20 makes long paragraphs easier to scan. Keep descriptions concise for mobile screens. If they're long, consider a read more toggle to collapse and expand the text. Then a text with styles.section that says cast. After that, a view with flex direction row and margin top 8 maps movie.cast.map to small views with an image and a text name underneath. This is a simple horizontal cast list showing avatars and names. Each cast member is rendered with a circular avatar width 64, height 64, border radius 32, and name below. Wrapping each item in a view with align items, centers the avatar and the name. Finally, a touchable opacity with styles.watchbtn in on-press equals navigation.navigate, player, video, movie.video, poster, movie.poster. Inside is a text with styles.watch text that says watch now. Styles, container has flex 1 and background color #0E0B14. Backdrop has width 100%, height 420, and resize mode cover. Back BTN is absolute position top 40, left 16, padding 8, background color RABA 0000.4, border radius 8, content padding 16, title color white font size 28 font weight 800, meta color #BFB3C2 margin top 6, desk color #D6CFE0 margin top 12 line height 20. Section color white font weight 700, watch BTN margin top 20 background color #6C4BFF padding vertical 14 border radius 12 align items center. Watch text color white font weight 700 font size 16. Walk through each style and why it was chosen. Container, full screen dark background fits a cinematic app and reduces eye strain for poster heavy content. Backdrop, full width cover ensures the hero image fills the top area without stretching. Height, 420 gives a consistent hero area similar to many streaming apps. Next, we render a text with styles.desk that shows movie.description. The description provides the movie synopsis and is usually multi-line. The styles.desk uses a softer color and increased line height for readability. Line height, 20 makes long paragraphs easier to scan. Keep descriptions concise for mobile screens. If they're long, consider a read more toggle to collapse and expand the text. Its ensure contrast is sufficient between text color and background. #D6CFE0 on a dark background is readable, but test in real devices and with users who have low vision. Then a text with styles.section that says cast. After that, a view with flex direction row and margin top 8 maps movie.cast.map to small views with an image and a text name underneath. This is a simple horizontal cast list showing avatars and names. Each cast member is rendered with a circular avatar width 64, height 64, border radius 32, and name below. Wrapping each item in a view with align items, centers the avatar and the name. A couple of important points: this code maps cast items inline, which is fine for a small fixed number of cast members. If you expect long cast lists, use a horizontal flat list for better performance and virtualization. Also use key equals c.id for each cast member to help React identify items uniquely. Note, in your sample code you have 2 repeated cast sections, likely a copy-paste duplication. Explain to viewers that you'll remove duplicates in production. For demo purposes you can show one or the other. If you want multiple cast groups, like cast and crew, rename the second heading. Finally, a touchable opacity with styles.watchbtn in on-press equals navigation.navigate. Player, video, movie.video, poster, movie.poster. Inside is a text with styles.watch text that says watch now.
This button navigates to a player screen and passes the video URL and poster as params. The Watch BTN style uses a prominent purple background and larger vertical padding so it looks like a primary call to action. The player screen will use the video param to load and play the video, and the poster param can be used as the preview image or thumbnail. When navigating with media URLs, consider handing off to a dedicated video player library such as Expo AV or React Native Video that supports buffering, play/pause, and full screen controls. Styles, container has Flex 1 and background color #0E0B14. Backdrop has width 100%, height 420, and resize mode cover. Back BTN is absolute position top 40, left 16, padding 8, background color RABA 0000.4, border radius 8. Content padding 16. Title color white, font size 28, font weight 800. Meta color #BFB3C2, margin top 6. Desk color #D6CFE0, margin top 12, line height 20. Section color white, font weight 700. Watch BTN margin top 20, background color #6C4BFF, padding vertical 14, border radius 12, align items center. Watch text color white, font weight 700, font size 16. Walk through each style and why it was chosen. Container, full screen dark background fits a cinematic app and reduces eye strain for poster heavy content. Backdrop, full width cover ensures the hero image fills the top area without stretching. Height, 420 gives a consistent hero area similar to many streaming apps. Back BTN, absolute positioning places the back button on top of the image where users expect it. The semi-transparent background keeps it visible on any image. Content, padding creates consistent inner spacing for the text blocks. Title and meta, typographic hierarchy, big, bold title and muted meta help users scan quickly. Desk, slightly lighter color and increased line height improves readability for long paragraphs. Section, bold white for section titles like cast. Watch BTN and watch text, a strong colored CTA that contrasts with the dark theme. Now I'll show how to build a simple video player screen using Expo AV. We'll import the video component, get the video URL from navigation params, and wire a PlayReady player with native controls and a back button. Import React from React. Import view, touchable opacity, text, and style sheet from React Native. These are the basic building blocks. React is required to define functional components and hooks. View and text compose the UI, touchable opacity makes buttons tappable, and stylesheet organizes styles. This part is the same pattern we used across other screens and keeps the code consistent. Export default function player screen, return a view and close the function. Then define const styles equals stylesheet.create empty object. This is the minimal skeleton for the screen. At first you can render an empty container to verify navigation works. As we add video logic, we'll populate this view. Always start with a simple scaffold so you can confirm the route is wired before adding media logic that might introduce runtime errors. Inside the component, read const video equals route.params. Import the video component from expo-av. Then create const ref equals react.useref, null. When we navigate from the detail screen, we passed a video URL in the params. Const video equals route.params extracts that URL so the player screen knows which media to play. We import video from Expo AV because it's a reliable cross-platform player provided by Expo that supports native playback, controls, and events. The useref hook gives us a reference to the video instance so we can programmatically control playback, for example calling ref.current.playasync or reading playback status. Always check route and route.params in production code. Const video equals route.params.video to avoid crashes if params are missing. Render view style equals styles.container video/view. Wrap the player inside a full screen container so the video can fill the available area and the background remains consistent. Styles.container usually sets flex 1 and a background color, which prevents visual flicker or white flashes while the video loads. Now render view style equals styles.container video/touchable opacity/view. We add a touchable opacity inside the same container to act as a back button. Because the video often takes full screen, the back button needs to be absolutely positioned over the video so the user can exit playback easily. We'll style that button and wire its on press to navigation.goback. Inside the view, render the video component with props, ref equals ref, source equals URI, video, style equals styles.video, use native controls, resize mode equals contain, and should play. Then render touchable opacity style equals styles.back, on press equals navigation.goback, text style equals color, white, \text/touchable opacity. This is the heart of the player. Define styles, container, flex, 1, background color, black, video, width, 100%, height, 100%, back, position, absolute, top 40, left, 16, padding, 8. These styles do 3 things. Container fills the screen and sets a black background to match the video area and avoid white flashes. Black is the common background for video players. Video is set to 100% width and height of the container so the player fills the screen area. If you plan to support safe areas, notches, or overlays, you might compute the height or use safe area view. Back positions the back button near the top left, with some padding so it's not hard to tap. Consider adding a semi-transparent background to the button to ensure it's visible over the video. Okay, after fixing the previous error, we'll test the full navigation flow and then build the app's bottom bar. I'll show how clicking a poster tapping watch now opens the player screen, and how the back button returns us to home. Then I'll walk through the complete bottom bar component step by step. After resolving the error, click on a poster image on the home screen. Then press the Watch Now button. This should navigate directly to playerscreen.js. When you press the back button inside the player, the app should navigate back to home screen. This describes the expected user flow, home detail player back to home. It's important to test this sequence end-to-end after you fix any earlier errors because it confirms navigation parameters are passed correctly, for example, the video URL and poster, and that each screen handles navigation properly. If navigation.navigate, player, video, poster, worked, the player receives the params. When navigation.goback runs, it should pop the current screen and return to the previous stack entry, typically the detail or home screen, depending on how you wired navigation. On camera, tap each element live so viewers can see the flow in real time. That visual confirmation is valuable. Import React from React. Import View, Touchable Opacity, and Style Sheet from React Native. Import Ion icons from @expo/vector-icons. Then export default function bottom bar returns a view and closes the function. These imports are the basics for a simple UI component. View is the container, touchable opacity makes icons tappable, and Style Sheet keeps styles organized. Ion icons gives us a consistent icon set. We'll use it for home, search, library, and profile icons. The component is a functional component that returns a view. This will be the floating bottom bar you see in modern apps. Okay, after fixing the previous error, we'll test the full navigation flow and then build the app's bottom bar. I'll show how clicking a poster tapping watch now opens the player screen, and how the back button returns us to home. Then I'll walk through the complete bottom bar component step by step. After resolving the error, click on a poster image on the home screen. Then press the Watch Now button. This should navigate directly to playerscreen.js. When you press the back button inside the player, the app should navigate back to home screen.
This describes the expected user flow, home detail player back to home. It's important to test this sequence end-to-end after you fix any earlier errors because it confirms navigation parameters are passed correctly, for example, the video URL and poster, and that each screen handles navigation properly. If navigation.navigate, player, video, poster, worked, the player receives the params. When navigation.goback runs, it should pop the current screen and return to the previous stack entry, typically the detail or home screen, depending on how you wired navigation. On camera, tap each element live so viewers can see the flow in real time. That visual confirmation is valuable. Import React from React. Import View, Touchable Opacity, and Stylesheet from React Native. Import Ion icons from @expo/vector-icons. Then export default function bottom bar returns a view and closes the function. These imports are the basics for a simple UI component. View is the container, touchable opacity makes icons tappable, and Stylesheet keeps styles organized. Ion icons gives us a consistent icon set. We'll use it for home, search, library, and profile icons. The component is a functional component that returns a view. This will be the floating bottom bar you see in modern apps. These values produce a common floating effect you see in modern mobile apps. Height, 64 sets a comfortable touch area, combined with border radius, 20 it becomes a rounded pill. Background color, #1A1220 gives a subtle dark surface that contrasts slightly with the main background. It looks elevated but cohesive. Flex direction, row lays out the icons horizontally. Justify content, space around distributes the icons evenly across the bar. Align items, center vertically centers the icons. Padding horizontal, 10 ensures inner spacing so icons don't touch the rounded edges. These style choices balance aesthetics and usability, big enough for easy taps and visually distinct without drawing too much attention. Oh, that's our bottom bar component, a floating, pill-shaped navigation surface with 4 icons, tappable areas, and a layout that's both visually modern and ergonomically friendly. It fits nicely with our OTT design and is easy to extend, add active states, integrate with navigation, or add badges to show notifications. Next we'll wire it up to the navigation stack so taps move between home, search, library, and profile. Now, we call bottom bar component in app.js. ext will expand the home screen by adding more sections, recommended movies, anime series, popular series, TV shows, top Hindi movies and series, and wire each section to its own small data file so the UI stays modular and easy to update. Now open home screen and add more sections like recommended movies, anime series, popular series, TV shows, top Hindi movies and series. Start writing the code. We split content into separate, clearly labeled sections because real OTT apps organize huge catalogs into scannable rows. Breaking the UI into multiple horizontal lists makes the screen easier to scan. Users can quickly jump to the category they care about. Architecturally, creating separate data files per category keeps the project organized. You can tweak or replace one category without touching others. This modular approach also makes it easy to later fetch different endpoints from an API for each section. Text style equals styles.section title close text with the content recommended movies. Then open scroll view with the props horizontal, shows horizontal scroll indicator equals false, and content container style equals double curly braces padding horizontal :16 double curly braces. Inside it we render a view and then close the scroll view. This shows the standard pattern for a horizontal section, a heading followed by a horizontally scrolling row of cards. Text with section title is the visible heading. Scroll view horizontal makes the list scroll sideways, perfect for posters, and shows horizontal scroll indicator equals false, hides the scroll bar for a cleaner aesthetic. Content container style equals padding horizontal 16 gives the row left and right padding so the first and last items line up with the screen's outer grid. Using scroll view for small lists is fine. For long or dynamic lists, consider flat list with horizontal set true for virtualization and better performance. Create a new file recommended.js in the data folder. Copy the contents of movies.js and paste them into recommended.js. We copy the movies template to create category-specific data quickly. This is a practical prototyping step. You get a full dataset to render without waiting for APIs. Having a recommended.js file means you can tweak only the recommended set independently, add unique posters, reorder items, or later swap it for a remote endpoint. But remember, don't keep duplicate code forever. Once your backend is live, you'll replace these local files with API calls. Import recommended from ./data/recommended. Then set const rec equals recommended. Later in the render, open a view with style, flex direction, row, padding horizontal, 16, then inside map rec map, and for each item render a touchable opacity with key equals, item.id, onPress equals open detail, item, style equals, styles.pop item. Inside each touchable we render an image with source equals, item.poster, and style equals, styles.pop image, then a text with style equals, styles.pop title, showing, item.title. This wiring connects the UI to the data. Import recommended brings in the array of movies specific to the recommended section. Rec map loops over each movie to render a tappable thumbnail. Using key equals, item.id, is critical. React needs stable keys to efficiently update lists. Make sure every ID is unique. OnPress equals open detail, item, sends users to the detail screen with the correct movie payload. The image shows a poster thumbnail and text shows a short title. The flex direction, row parent ensures the items line up horizontally, padding horizontal, 16 keeps the edges consistent with other sections. Open export default array. First object, ID equals The Conjuring, title equals The Conjuring, last rights, year equals 2025, rating equals 6.5, poster equals require, //assets/images/conju.jpg, backdrop equals require, //assets/images/conju.jpg. Then more objects follow, Superman 2025, Final Destination Bloodlines, The Fantastic Four, GEF1, The Movie, Jurassic World Rebirth, Mission Impossible, a Minecraft movie, The Map That Leads to You, Pieces of a Woman. Close array and export. Now let's look at what each field means and why we put it there. ID, this is the unique identifier for each item. It must be unique in the list to prevent React warnings and to help the reconciler update items properly. Use stable strings like Conjuring 2025 if you can. Avoid titles only because they might not be unique. Title, the human-facing title shown under the thumbnail and used in the detail screen. Keep this concise for thumbnails and store a longer full title only if you need it. Year, displays the release year, quick context for the user and useful for sorting or filtering later. Rating, numeric rating used to show stars or numbers. Keep this as a number so you can compute averages or format it easily. Poster and backdrop, we used require, //assets/images/name.jpg, to load local images during development. Poster is usually the small thumbnail, backdrop is the larger hero image used on detail screens. Using local require makes prototyping fast and offline friendly. For production, you'll switch to remote URI images. Genres in description, not present in the trimmed recommended dataset above, but used elsewhere. Keep genres as an array so you can present them as chips or join them into strings. Description goes to the detail page. Cast, if present, it's an array of cast members. It helps populate the cast row on the detail screen. This recommended.js file is deliberately simple. It gives your front-end realistic data to iterate the UI quickly. You can change IDs, titles, ratings, and images per entry so each thumbnail looks unique. Unique IDs, always ensure ID values are unique. If you get React warnings like encountered two children with the same key, fix duplicate IDs immediately. Image paths, require, is resolved at build time. Wrong paths will crash the app. Keep assets/images organized in double-check file names. Performance, for many lists or large datasets, switch from scroll view to flat list with horizontal equals, true. Flat list virtualizes items and is much more memory friendly. Accessibility, add accessibility label on touchable opacity and alt-like text on images for screen reader users. For example, touchable opacity accessibility label equals \open $, item.title, details.
Spacing and padding, make sure to add content container style equals, padding bottom, 100, to the main vertical scroll view if you have a floating bottom bar, so the last items don't get hidden. Data lifecycle, when you replace static files with API calls, keep the same data shape so components don't break, the UI expects ID, title, poster, etc.
Now show the app running.
Scroll down to the recommended movies section, swipe the row horizontally, and tap a thumbnail to open the detail screen.
Then hit back and try another section.
This demonstrates that each category uses its own data file and the UI is modular and reusable. So that's how we add multiple sections to the home screen. Create a section heading, use a horizontal scroll view or flat list to render thumbnails, and keep your data modular by creating a separate recommended.js file. Each data object should include a unique ID, title, year, rating, and local poster/backdrop for prototyping. This structure lets you quickly test UI layouts and later swap the static files for real API data without changing the components. Always mind unique keys, image paths, and accessibility labels, and consider flat list when you need performance for long lists. Pop item, margin right, 12, width, 120, pop image, width, 120, height, 170, border radius, 8, margin top, 10, pop title, color, white, margin top, 6, font size, 12, text align, center, dot. These styles define compact, scannable thumbnails. Width, 120 and height, 170 approximate poster proportions so multiple items fit on screen. Margin right, 12 separates items for comfortable touch targets. Border radius, 8 keeps visuals soft and consistent with the app's rounded aesthetic. The pop title uses a small font and center alignment so short titles look neat under their posters. Always test on multiple devices. Small text can be hard to read on some screens, so adjust font sizes if needed. Now I'll show how I duplicated the recommended movies section to create another category and updated the recommended.js data file with unique items. I'll read the code and explain every field so you understand how to organize and feed multiple sections in the home screen. Export default open square bracket. This starts the JavaScript module that exports an array as the default. The array contains movie objects that the home screen will import and render. Exporting default an array like this makes it easy to import with a simple import recommended from /data/recommended in your screen file.
Open curly brace. ID : single quote The Conjuring single quote comma. Title : single quote The Conjuring space last right single quote comma. Year : 2025 comma. Rating : 6.5 comma. Poster : require open parentheses single quote /assets/images/conju.jpg single quote close parentheses comma. Backdrop : require open parentheses single quote /assets/images/conju.jpg single quote close parentheses comma. Close curly brace comma. This object represents one movie entry.
Each field has a purpose, ID, a unique identifier for this movie in the list. It must be unique across this array, and ideally across all your data files, so React list rendering has stable keys and you don't get warnings like encountered 2 children with the same key. Use stable strings. For prototypes the title is fine, but in production prefer IDs from your backend.
Title: the human readable name shown under thumbnails and on the detail screen. Keep it concise for thumbnails.
Year: release year, quick context for users and useful for filters or sorting. Rating: numeric rating usable for star UI or sorting.
Keep it as a number so you can compute or format it later. Open curly brace.
ID : single quote Superman single quote, title : single quote Superman open parenthesis 2025 close parenthesis single quote, year : 2025, rating : 7.5, poster require, super.jpg, backdrop require, super.jpg.
Close curly brace comma. Same structure again. A few notes to mention on camera: choose meaningful ID values. Superman 2025 would be safer than just Superman, to avoid accidental duplicates.
Also, naming your poster files with consistent lowercase names and hyphens helps avoid typos and platform case sensitivity issues.
Final destination bloodlines ID, title, year 2025, rating 6.8, poster require fineldesti.jpg, backdrop require fineldesti.jpg. Continue reading objects and explain once more that all fields are intentionally uniform so your rendering logic can assume the same shape.
Mention that rating is numeric and could be used with a star component to show fractional stars. Also note, keep genres and description fields in mind. These are omitted here for brevity but are useful on the detail screen.
Next objects: the Fantastic Four, GEF1, the movie, Jurassic World Rebirth, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, a Minecraft movie, the map that leads to you, pieces of a woman each with ID, title, year 2025, rating numeric, poster require and backdrop require pointing to the corresponding images. Close array and semicolon. This entire array is your local dataset for this category. Duplicating this recommended.js file and changing ID, title, poster, and other fields gives you a second category with distinct content. That's how you create multiple horizontal sections on home. Copy the component snippet and switch the imported dataset. Unique IDs: always ensure every ID is unique. Use a convention like slugyear or a UUID for prototypes. Duplicate keys break React's reconciliation and can lead to subtle UI bugs. Image management, require, is resolved at build time. If the image path is wrong, the app will error during bundling or runtime. Keep assets/images organized, and name files consistently, lowercase, hyphens. For production, replace require with remote URIs, poster, URI, movie.poster URL. Consider using image caching libraries or Expo Image for performance. Data shape consistency: keep the same field names across all data files, movies.js, recommended.js, anime.js. Your UI components expect the same shape, ID, title, poster, backdrop, rating, year, etc., so swapping static files with API responses becomes seamless. Performance: for a few items horizontal scroll view is fine. When lists grow, switch to flat list with horizontal and proper initial number to render/Windows eyes to enable virtualization and improve memory usage. Localization and formatting: if you plan multi-language support, don't hardcode strings in data, keep titles and descriptions translatable or have your backend provide locale-specific fields. Also format numbers, ratings, and dates for locale. Accessibility: add accessibility label to touchable opacity wrappers, for example. Accessibility label equals \open details $4 item.title. For images, consider accessibility ignores invert colors or descriptive labels for screen readers. Testing tips: test on devices with different screen widths and pixel densities. Dimensions.get window used earlier ensures banners scale consistently, but verify thumbnails and text sizes on small phones. Naming and organization: if you create multiple categories, recommended, popular, anime, Hindi, keep each dataset in a separate file, data/recommended.js, data/popular.js, data/anime.js. This keeps version control clean and simplifies swapping or editing one category without affecting others. Next, we'll add an anime section. I'll create a new anime.js data file by copying movies.js, then change each item's ID, title, year, rating, poster, and backdrop so the home screen can render a distinct anime row. Create a new file at src/data/anime.js. We keep each category's data in its own file to stay organized. Anime.js will become the single source of truth for the anime row on the home screen. This makes it easy to update anime items later or replace the static file with an API call for just the anime category. Open src/data/movies.js. Select the entire array exported there, the export default block, and copy it. Paste the copied array into src/data/anime.js and save. Copying a working template is the fastest way to create a new dataset with the exact same data shape the UI expects. The home screen components rely on consistent fields like ID, title, poster, backdrop, year, and rating. By reusing the same shape, you avoid runtime crashes and keep your components reusable. At the top of anime.js, keep export default, and then the list of objects. We will edit each object. For each object in the array, change these fields: ID, unique anime slug, title, your anime title, year, 2024 or the correct year, rating, 8.1, keep it numeric, poster, require, /assets/images/your anime poster.jpg, backdrop, require, /assets/images/your anime backdrop.jpg. ID, use a unique, stable string per item,
for example One Piece 2024 or Naruto Shippuden 2007. Unique IDs prevent React's duplicate key warnings and keep list rendering stable. Title: the human-friendly name shown under thumbnails and on the detail screen. Keep it concise for thumbnails. Year and rating, numeric fields used for meta lines and sorting, so keep them as numbers, not strings. Poster and backdrop, use require, for local images during prototyping. Put the image files inside assets/images and ensure the file name matches exactly, including case file systems can be CS. Next we'll add an anime section. I'll create a new anime.js data file by copying movies.js, then change each item's ID, title, year, rating, poster and backdrop so the home screen can render a distinct anime row. Create a new file at src/data/anime.js. We keep each category's data in its own file to stay organized. Anime.js will become the single source of truth for the anime row on the home screen. This makes it easy to update anime items later or replace the static file with an API call for just the anime category. Open src/data/movies.js. Select the entire array exported there, the export default block, and copy it. Paste the copied array into src/data/anime.js and save. Copying a working template is the fastest way to create a new dataset with the exact same data shape the UI expects. The home screen components rely on consistent fields like ID, title, poster, backdrop, year, and rating. By reusing the same shape you avoid runtime crashes and keep your components reusable. At the top of anime.js, keep export default, and then the list of objects. We will edit each object. For each object in the array, change these fields: ID, unique anime slug, title, your anime title, year, 2024 or the correct year, rating, 8.1, keep it numeric, poster, require, //assets/images/your anime poster.jpg, backdrop, require, //assets/images/your anime backdrop.jpg. ID, use a unique, stable string per item, for example One Piece 2024 or Naruto Shippuden 2007. Unique IDs prevent React's duplicate key warnings and keep list rendering stable. Title: the human-friendly name shown under thumbnails and on the detail screen. Keep it concise for thumbnails. Year and rating, numeric fields used for meta lines and sorting, so keep them as numbers, not strings. Poster and backdrop, use require, for local images during prototyping. Put the image files inside assets/images and ensure the file name matches exactly, including case file systems can be. Alright everyone, our OTT app is now fully complete and it's time to test everything on iOS. The app is officially named MovieFlix, and we've built a clean, modern, and fully functional streaming style experience from scratch. So now let's do a quick walkthrough of the final result. Starting from the top, this is our For You section and you can see the swiper banner working smoothly, sliding through featured movies just like a real streaming app. Right below that, we have our recommended movies section, followed by the anime series, the popular series, then the TV shows, and finally the top Hindi movies and series category. Each section scrolls horizontally, and every card loads perfectly with the correct poster, title, and rating. Now let's test the navigation. When I tap on any movie card, just like this, we're taken directly to the detail screen, where we can see the backdrop, the title, genres, description, and cast list all loading correctly. And when I hit the Watch Now button, the app instantly navigates to the player screen, and the video starts playing smoothly with native controls. If I press the back button from here, it takes me straight back to the home screen exactly as expected. Everything is working cleanly, the scrolling feels smooth, the animations feel responsive, and all our screens connect seamlessly. So that's our complete MovieFlix OTT app running on iOS, designed, developed, and tested step by step. This project not only shows how to build a real streaming app layout but also how to structure components, manage data, handle navigation, and play video inside a React Native app. And that wraps up our iOS testing. Next, we'll move on to Android, but for now, great job following along and building this with me. Alright everyone, now that our OTT app is fully tested on iOS, let's move on to the Android testing phase. For this part, we'll shift our workflow into VS Code, set up a fresh Expo project, install all required libraries, and then rebuild the same folder structure we created on Snack for iOS. So the first thing I'm going to do is open VS Code, open the terminal, and run the command npx create expo app at latest template blank. This will create a brand new Expo project for Android, and I'll give it the same name, MovieFlix, so everything stays consistent. After the project is created, I'll go ahead and install all the packages we used earlier. I'll open my browser and search for React Native Paper, install that in the terminal, then search for React Navigation and install each required command one by one in the core navigation library, the Stack Navigator, the native stack, and the bottom tab dependencies. This makes sure our Android build has the exact same navigation system as the version we built on Snack. Next, I'll recreate the project structure. I'll set up the src folder, then inside it create screens, components, and data, the same layout we used during the iOS build. Once the folders are ready, I'll extract the zip file we downloaded from Snack.dev, copy the assets folder, and paste it directly into the root of our VS Code project. Then I'll open each file from the Snack project, home screen, detail screen, player screen, bottom bar, movie card, as well as our data files like movies.js, recommended.js, and anime.js, and paste all the code into the matching files in VS Code. I'll also check every import one by one, making sure all assets, components, and library imports match the new project path. If something is missing, I'll simply install it in the terminal so that our Android build has everything it needs to run smoothly. After all the files are in place and the dependencies are installed, I'll run the project on my Android emulator. And just like on iOS, everything loads correctly, the swiper works, the sections scroll, the movie details open perfectly, and when I press watch now, the video player launches and the movie starts playing instantly. The back button returns me to the home screen exactly as expected. The UI adjusts beautifully for Android, and the performance feels smooth and responsive across all screens. And that completes the Android testing for our MovieFlix OTT app. We successfully recreated the entire project inside VS Code, mirrored the structure from Snack, installed all the required libraries, imported all our assets, and tested every feature, from navigation to video playback. Now our app.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Alright everyone, now that our MovieFlix app is running smoothly on both iOS and Android, it's time to officially conclude this entire OTT platform project. We've covered a huge amount of work from start to finish, and this project has been an amazing deep dive into how real streaming applications are built using React Native and Expo. We started all the way at the basics, setting up our project, creating folders, structuring our screens, and building reusable components like the movie card and bottom bar. Then we created multiple datasets for different sections like For You, recommended movies, anime series, popular series, TV shows, and top Hindi movies in series. We carefully designed each section using swiper, scroll view, gradients, and clean UI layouts to make the app feel modern and premium. We also built the detail screen with dynamic content like cast images, titles, genres, year, and movie descriptions. And of course, we created the player screen where users can watch any movie instantly using the Expo video component. On top of that, we implemented smooth navigation, animations, responsive scaling effects, and proper image handling, everything needed to make our OTT app look polished and functional. After completing the iOS build on Snack.dev, we moved the entire structure into VS Code, installed all required libraries, set up React navigation, fixed imports, arranged folders, added images, and finally ran the app on Android Studio. And the best part? Everything worked exactly the same on both platforms: smooth UI, working navigation, video playback, and seamless transitions. So overall, this project took us through the full journey of developing a cross-platform OTT app, from UI design, animation, data management, and component creation, all the way to navigation, screen transitions, and testing on real devices. And if you followed along step by step, you now understand how real OTT apps like Netflix, Disney+, and Amazon Prime build their user experiences, from smooth carousels and gradients to dynamic screens, reusable components, and video playback. You didn't just watch me build an app, you actually learned the entire workflow of creating a complete cross-platform mobile experience from scratch. Thank you so much for watching this video and spending your time with me. I truly hope you learned something valuable today, whether it was how to structure a project, how to use swiper and scroll view, how to manage data files, or how to create beautiful UI in React Native. My goal is always to teach in the simplest way possible so you can build real projects with confidence. If this MovieFlix project helped you in any way, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Your support genuinely motivates me to keep creating more tutorials, more projects, and more high-quality content to help you level up your development skills. Alright guys, that's it for today's tutorial. Keep coding, keep creating, and never stop experimenting, because every line of code you write makes you better than you were yesterday.
I'm excited to see what you build next, and I'll be right here to guide you through more amazing projects. Take care, stay creative, and happy coding. See you in the next video.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, no, this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind.